Equifax, one of the three major U.S. credit reporting agencies, revealed that the personal information database of its customers was compromised. The stolen information included names, social security numbers, birth dates, addresses, and driver's license numbers, all of which can be used to open bank or credit card accounts in another person's name or file fraudulent tax returns. Approximately 143 million people were affected by this breach, nearly half the country.
You're wrong. You sent my refund to someone else. Probably a criminal pretending to be me. I never got my money. You are going to hear from my lawyer.
And that's why I can't make the call authorizing our PR rep to go public with this.
Why? Because it's going to lead to thousands of angry customers and countless lawsuits? That's unavoidable. We need to get out in front of this thing.
And tell them what exactly?
The truth, including the fact the breach originated on your cell phone. Full transparency. We owe it to our customers so they can protect themselves.
But I just don't understand how it was me. I mean, after the Amber Ashland hack nearly cost me my marriage, I'm as careful as anyone about data security. The cyber forensics team even combed through my emails. They found a few phishing attacks, but I had deleted them right away, just like you're supposed to do.
So there must have been some other way the hackers got into your phone. The breach occurred January 8th. Walk me through your day. Maybe we can figure it out.
I was traveling the 8th, New York, for a meeting. But I assure you, I practice every precaution you ever taught me when traveling. I never sign on to the internet using uncertain hotspots and protect all my devices using long and strong passphrases. I'm also careful to disable all remote connectivity, so what else could it have been?
Start at the beginning of your day, when you first woke up.
My flight was at 9 a.m., so I would have gotten up around 6. I took a shower, then had breakfast with Monica. I remember breakfast was cut short by my rideshare service arriving early. I kissed Monica goodbye, then quickly grabbed my cell phone, which I had forgotten to charge overnight.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere. What'd you do to charge your phone?
When I was in the rideshare car, I noticed the driver had a charger set up for passengers, like they always do. Mind if I charge my phone?
Oh, yeah. That's why it's there, buddy. Enjoy.
Oh, the driver must have tricked you into infecting your phone with malware.
Unbelievable. Just think of how many people use ride-sharing services every day.
Not to mention all the charging terminals at airports, train stations, and amusement parks that can be tampered with the same way.
So what should I do the next time my device is about to die?
For starters, always carry a charger you can plug into an actual outlet, rather than a USB port. You should also get in the habit of carrying a portable power bank with you at all times. You can use it whenever an outlet isn't available.
Where are you going?
To deliver the news to our cyber forensics team, maybe we can track down the driver that hacked you, get his information to the authorities. That's our PR rep you're calling?
I'm giving her the green light to release everything. Full transparency, like you said. We owe it to our customers so they can protect themselves.
Let's play it once again.
Equifax, one of the three major U.S. credit reporting agencies, revealed that the tax returns. Approximately 143 million people were affected by this breach, nearly half the country.
You're wrong. You sent my refund to someone else. Probably a criminal pretending to be me. I never got my money. You are going to hear from my lawyer.
And that's why I can't make the call authorizing our PR rep to go public with this.
Why? Because it's going to lead to thousands of angry customers and countless lawsuits? That's unavoidable. We need to get out in front of this thing.
And tell them what exactly?
The truth, including the fact the breach originated on your cell phone. Full transparency. We owe it to our customers so they can protect themselves.
But I just don't understand how it was me. I mean, after the Amber Ashland hack nearly cost me my marriage, I'm as careful as anyone about data security. The cyber forensics team even combed through my emails. They found a few phishing attacks, but I had deleted them right away, just like you're supposed to do.
So there must have been some other way the hackers got into your phone. The breach occurred January 8th. Walk me through your day. Maybe we can figure it out.
I was traveling the 8th, New York, for a meeting. But I assure you, I practice every precaution you ever taught me when traveling. I never sign on to the internet using uncertain hotspots and protect all my devices using long and strong passphrases. I'm also careful to disable all remote connectivities, so what else could it have been?
Start at the beginning of your day, when you first woke up.
My flight was at 9 a.m., so I would have gotten up around 6. I took a shower, then had breakfast with Monica. I remember breakfast was cut short by my rideshare service arriving early. I kissed Monica goodbye, then quickly grabbed my cell phone, which I had forgotten to charge overnight.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere. What'd you do to charge your phone?
When I was in the rideshare car, I noticed the driver had a charger set up for passengers, like they always do. Mind if I charge my phone?
Oh, yeah. That's why it's there, buddy. Enjoy.
Ah, the driver must have tricked you into infecting your phone with malware.
Unbelievable. Just think of how many people use ride-sharing services every day.
Not to mention all the charging terminals at airports, train stations, and amusement parks that can be tampered with the same way.
So what should I do the next time my device is about to die?
For starters, always carry a charger you can plug into an actual outlet, rather than a USB port. You should also get in the habit of carrying a portable power bank with you at all times. You can use it whenever an outlet isn't available.
Where are you going?
To deliver the news to our cyber forensics team, maybe we can track down the driver that hacked you, get his information to the authorities. That's our PR rep you're calling?
I hope you can hear me. Okay, good. Let me go back. So we are going to take the quiz before we start today's session. So the question is, check all that applies. You check all that apply. Which of the following best describe secure behavior? Which of the following best describe secure behavior? 1, you check all that apply. 1, during a flight layover, you notice that your mobile device is almost out of battery. You have a portable power supply, but you accidentally packed it in your checked bag. There is a charging kiosk near the terminal with charging cards or charging cords that fit your devices. You've heard of the potential risks, but you can't afford to miss any important message. So you go ahead and use the kiosk. So during the flight layover, you notice that your mobile device is almost out of battery. You have a portable power supply, but you accidentally packed it in your check bag. There is a charging kiosk nearby, near the terminal, with charging cords that fits your device. You've heard of the potential risk, but you can't afford to miss any messages. So you go ahead and use this kiosk. Should we check this one or we should move? Is it something that we can check or we can pass?
Let's move.
All right, so you receive work email and carry important company information on your cell phone. You can't get through a day without it. Whenever you see a complimentary charging cable or kiosk, you make sure that your phone or your cell phone is charged. You don't enter your password while it's charging, so there isn't any risk involved. You receive work email and carry important messages or company information on your cell phone. You can't get through a day without it. Whenever you see a complimentary charging cable or kiosk, make sure that your cell phone is charged. You don't enter any password while charging. So there isn't any risk involved. Should we check this one or we should also leave this one? Should we move or
We should
check
leave
it?
this one as well.
Leave it.
Let's
You've
move.
heard about the risk that comes with charging your cell phone on other portable devices with third-party charging stations. Just to be safe, you make sure to carry a wall charger for your devices whenever you travel. It's safer to know and control exactly where your device is plugged. Should we check or we leave?
We check.
Is it something that okay? Good. The last one is while using a ride-share service, you see a charging cord for your device. Instead of using this, you pull out your charger and ask that they plug it into the AC adapter. It's better to be safe and make sure that the information isn't compromised. Should we check this one too as well, or we should leave it? Is it something that we can check while using the right service? You see a charging cord for your device. Instead of using this, you pull out your charger and ask they plug it into their AC adapter. It is better to be safe and make sure that your information isn't compromised. Did you check this one too as well? Guys, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? Did you check this one as well? Hello? Hello, can you check this one or we should leave it? Okay, I think so. It's 100%. Congratulations to all of us. Thank you very much, guys. Mr. Prince Adolin, can you please mute yourself as we get in some tips from your side? Yeah, good. Thank you very much, guys, and welcome to our seminar. Once again, today too is a very important day with a very good topic at hand. We are going to look at something which is very, very interesting and important. So today's session is not going to be a one-sided thing, but it's going to be a kind of interactive and like we're going to have some series of conversation here and there, trying to have our own understanding of what is happening in and around there. So the topic for today is supply chain attack. So we've all heard about supply chain. We all know about supply chain. And someone may ask, in supply chain, do we have any form of an attack coming out of it? Yes, from my side, from where I'm sitting here, I will say yes. But before then, let's try and look at a use case, something that has happened in the past, and see how best we can bring our ideas in trying to make sure that this thing, in case we are confronted with such a situation, how we are going to handle it, or how we are going to make sure that we are well prevented from or against any form of this attack. So this attack is about, it happens in 2020, and it's on SolarWind. It's just a SolarWind attack. So 2020 was a roller coaster of major world-shaking events. We all remember 2020, Corona here and there, lockdown, and all the things that has happened. We all couldn't wait for the year to end. But just as 2020 was about to close, it pulled another fast one on us, the SolarWinds attack or the SolarWind hack. It's one of the world's biggest cyber breach of the 21st century. This attack was a major event, not because of a single company that was being breached or compromised, but because it triggered a much larger supply chain incident that affected thousands of organizations, including the United States government. And something that has affected the United States government, we should know that it has also affected other governments as well. So more than 30,000 public and private organizations, including local, states, federal agencies, use the Orion network. That is a software, that is not a service that is being provided by SolarWind. Orion network management system to manage their IT resources. So as a result, the hack compromised the data, networks, and the systems of thousands when SolarWind inadvertently delivered the backdoor malware as an update to the Orion software. So it's a software that is being released, that is being, designed or developed by a particular company by name SolarWind, and the name of that software is Orion. So people do purchase or do buy this software for their organizational use and what have you. So SolarWind had a lot of customers, and then boom, before they realized something happened to their software, of which it affected more than 30,000, including the federal states governments, the US government, and the rest. So SolarWind is a major software company based in Ookla, that's Tulsa, which provided in US system management tools for network and infrastructure monitoring and other technical services to hundreds of thousands of organizations around the world. So it's not only dealing with United States companies, but it's also traveled outside. It's a multinational company that deals with other companies elsewhere in Europe, in America, Asia, Oceania, in all over the world, Africa. They deal with companies in and around the world, and whom someone was able to infect this particular company with a malicious code. This code traveled a long way to affect most of the companies that deals with this company. So it's a very serious case. So the hackers use a method known as a supply chain attack to insert a malicious code into the Orion system. A supply chain attack works by targeting a third party with access to the organization system rather than trying to hack the network directly. So the third party software, in this case, the SolarWind Orion platform, creates a backdoor through which hackers can access and impersonate users' accounts of victims' organization. Okay, the malware could also access systems files and blend in with a legitimate SolarWind activity without detection, even by a serious malware or antivirus. Okay, so the whole thing started in 2019 when a threat actor gained unauthorized access to a SolarWind network. So a hacker hacked into SolarWind's network, October 2019, stayed for 1 month, September to October 2019. And then the threat actor tests the initial code injection into the Orion and realized that everything is good to go. In February 2020, the malicious code known as a sunburst injected into Orion. So March 26, 2020, SolarWind unknowingly started sending out Orion software updates with hacked code. So according to the US Department of Homeland Security Advisory, the affected version of the SolarWind is 2019.4 and through 2020.2.1 HF1. Okay, more than 18,000 SolarWind customers installed the malware's updates, with the malware spreading undetected. So the breach was first detected by FireEye. The company confirmed that they have infected with the malware. They have been infected with the malware when they saw the infection in one of their customers, in system. So they labeled this infection as UNC 2452 and identified the backdoor used to gain the access afterwards through SolarWind as sunburst. So according to a report released in January 2020 by security firm CrowdStrike, the average dwell time in 2019 was the average time that a hacker could sit in your system, in your network, in your organization system without the average time. The normal time that he can stay is just 95 days. But in this case, the the hacker has stayed in the system of SolarWind for more than a year before even attacking. So this what makes it so serious. Okay, given that it took well over a year from time the attacker first entered the SolarWind network until the breach was delivered. So the question of why did it take too much, or why did it take so long time for for SolarWinds to be able to detect this particular happening? So this question is what we are coming back into the house and then try to have our own understanding and try to see how best we can try to understand all this happening. So, guys, I know you've been listening, and this time I'm going to engage each and every one of us, including our Madam Janet and the rest. This is something that has happened in 2020 to a one big company in US. The hacker, the average dwell time is 95 days. But in this case, the hacker was able to stay for more than a year without the company detecting it. So in a situation like this, as a cybersecurity practitioner, as a cybersecurity student, as someone who always joined this particular session, this particular seminar, what would you say is the main cause of this breach, this SolarWinds attack? What do you see is the main cause, the cause of it, and then why did the hacker stayed in their system for more than 95 days without them detecting it? It's a third party, that's FireEye, who was able to find out that there's something wrong within this particular software. So what happened? Is it okay? I can see someone's hand up, Mr. Prince. Mr. Prince, yeah, you can unmute yourself. Yeah,
Yeah, I think that,
yeah,
uh, okay, I think the company didn't do threat hunting because,
okay,
like, if they had tried looking for vulnerabilities in the company, they would
yeah,
have maybe find an, an, an unauthorized user in their system. But
okay.
since they were only they only react if there's an attack. That I believe that's what led to it. If they had looked for threats than waiting to defend the threat, they would have been able to prevent it.
So can we simply say they are, let me put this in my own word, cyber unhygienic? Like they don't check their system regularly to test for any vulnerability in their system or something of
Yes,
that sort. All right,
yes, please.
that's a good point. Can someone also come up with another point? I want us all to talk. Let's all get talking. In the first place, even the attack itself, the supply chain attack, how do we understand that supply chain attack? Because we've always been buying things from people. People have been supplying us with goods and services that we kind of buy from them. So, Mr. Prince, do you want to say something again? I can see your hand is still up.
Yes, please. Like you're asking about what is
Yeah,
supply chain
yeah,
attack
good,
is.
good.
So, I believe that since SolarWinds is a big company
Hmm.
that has other branches all around the world,
Yeah,
the attacker is able to attack them
yeah,
and infect their systems. Any updates that they release, it won't only affect SolarWinds alone, but every other company that has their products.
yeah.
So to me, that's the supply chain. It starts from the supplier and goes to the users,
The
something
customers,
like that.
yeah, yeah. So that's attack one hurts many, if I will put it that way.
Yes.
Okay, good. Any other thing? Anything from Kek, Pradeep, Michael, Mr. Alex, Janet, Joycelyn, William, Nanayao, and Adi, Mr. Adi, and the rest. All right, I can see people are still thinking, but don't worry, we are going to go deep into a supply chain attack. I just wanted to have a feel of what has happened in the past and on a one big company in a very big country like United States of America. They were being hit by such an attack, and I think no one is safe. So let's move quickly to the business of the day. So we're going to look at um, supply chain attack. So it is a situation whereby an attacker targets cybersecurity or target a vendor, okay, a software developer, any vendor at all that deals with a lot of people. So it's just like a water in hole. You try to infect the source and then make sure that all the people that feeds from that particular source get also infected. So with the supply chain, the attacker wouldn't look at the other customers or the other vendors, but rather it attacks the main company that supplies them with a particular, system. So this is a very effective way to break security barriers by injecting a malicious libraries or component into a product's knowledge of the developer. So manufacturer or end users, this method is very successful when it comes to stealing sensitive data and gaining access to highly sensitive environment. So supply chain attack may target hardware, software, applications, devices that are managed by a third party. So it can affect everything: hardware, it can affect software, it can affect applications, it can affect everything, provided it's being supplied to other people. So how it works: at the first stage, the attacker needs to gain access to the third party system. So the applications or the tool they plan to exploit, known as the upstream. So the upstream is the attacker getting access into the vendors or into the supplier's system. So when they do that, this may be done by using a stolen credential. So sometimes it's an employee of that particular organization that is being infected, or maybe they bought a stolen information, credentials of an employee or any other person within a prominent organizations, and they use that to kind of infect the organization by simply using a phishing method or any other method that they could use, any other modus operandi that they can use to get access into the organization's system. So when that is done by targeting vendor or temporary access organization system, so exploiting by when they do that, exploiting an unknown software vulnerability. So when they get access, they try to exploit an unknown vulnerability within a system to be able to get access to the system. So once access is to this third party dependency has been secured, then the downstream attack will be conducted. So the downstream is after getting into the organization, you try to attack those below. So the attack that reaches the ultimate target, often via their browser or device, can be carried out in a variety of ways. Returning to the previous example, so the upstream attack occurs when the attacker adds a malicious code to the software of a cybersecurity vendor. Then the downstream attack is performed when that malware executes on the end user's devices via a routine software update. So the upstream is getting access, just like what's happened with SolarWind. The upstream is getting access into SolarWind's system, and then the downstream is then sending an update to the customers of SolarWind, those who are using the Orion software to be able to update their system. So that is why I heard Boss saying some time back that whenever he hears that there's an update for any system or any software within his machines or something, he waits. He doesn't quickly, update his system. He waits for some time to see people's reaction, to hear people's feedback as far as that update is concerned. So when you look at this happening within SolarWind, you can see that whenever there's an update, we should try and wait a little bit to be able to check and see if that update is legitimate, because we've realized that people are taking access, are hacking into the supplier's system and trying to infect the end users with by the use of this update. So when you update your system, automatically you invited a strange object into your system. You've infected your system with a malware. So that is what we are talking about. So example, we have the SolarWinds, as I stated earlier. We had the Kaseya. So the Kaseya, there's been a supply chain attack on them. We have the CodeCov, we have the NotPetya, we have the British Airways being also infected with the use of this particular system, and then the Community Housing Association. So every other area, you can see that the airline industry is not being left out. The British Airways, the housing system, when you want to buy a house, when you want to rent, they're also being infected, the NotPetya and the rest of the things. So the types, we have the browser-based attack. So this browser-based attack will run a malicious code on end user's browser. Attackers may target JavaScript libraries or browser extension that automatically execute codes on users' devices. So alternatively, they may also steal sensitive user information that is stored in the browser via cookies, session, or storage. We have the software attacks. This disguises malware in the software updates. As in the SolarWinds attack, user system may download this update automatically inadvertently, allowing attackers to infect their devices and carry out further actions. So open source attack. This exploits vulnerabilities in an open source code. Open source code packages can help organizations accelerate applications and software development, but they may also allow attackers to tamper with known vulnerabilities or conceal malware that is then used to infiltrate the user's system. So this open source, as you can see, it exploits vulnerabilities in an open source code. Okay, and then the package can help organizations accelerate, move further, accelerate applications and software development, but they may also allow attackers to tamper with unknown vulnerabilities. JavaScript attacks exploit the vulnerabilities in JavaScript code. Make cards attack, use malicious JavaScript code, and the rest. Water and Hole, as I stated earlier on, it identifies websites that are commonly used by a large number of users, example, website builders or government websites. Attackers may use a number of tactics to identify security vulnerability within the websites and then infect that website so that anyone who visits that website will be infected with the malware. So cryptojacking, it allows attackers to steal computational resources needed to mine cryptocurrency. So they can use this, they can do this in several ways by injecting a malicious code or add into a website. So the effects of supply chain attack. Many organizations are unaware of how a supply chain attack works. So they don't know what to do if they fall victims to one. So the impact of a supply chain attack can be devastating to a company's revenue, reputation, and supplier relationship. Okay, the three biggest impact of supply chain are financial losses. You all know. This could cause the organization a lot of, problem. It can even shut some organizations down. In that, you end up losing revenue, data breach, and corporate data disclosure. The effect of important data being disclosed, or people's or customers' information, login in credentials, bank details being taken over. Malware installation, the possibility of you installing malware into the system. If it is just an ordinary, malware, it's not a problem, but malware such as, spywares and the rest, which are so dangerous to the organization, can cause a lot of problem to the organization. So the main targets of this particular supply chain are any seller, anyone who uses third-party vendor for their products and or is vulnerable to a supply chain attack, is susceptible, is open to a supply chain attack. Government institutions or that organization worth billions of dollars are also targets for this from these hackers. Security providers are a perfect target because organizations must trust security providers to protect their data and reputation. So security providers like South Africa and the rest, we should be careful. Employees here should always be careful with where they charge their phones when they're outside the organization, with the kind of links or site they visit and the links they kind of click on and the rest, and so on and so forth. A managed server provider is another common target. These companies support the infrastructure of organizations and use monitoring system. So having access to MSP gives an attacker access to MSP credentials. Therefore, the customer's infrastructure. For another option is attacker to steal credit card information from payment dashboards and customer service system. So how to solve this problem? How to get yourself protected from any supply chain attack. So first, you run a third-party risk assessment. This may include you test the third-party software prior to deployment. So this requiring vendors to adhere to specific security policies, implementing content security policies to control which resources or a browser can run, or sub-resources integrity to check the JavaScript for suspicious content. So whatever you are acquiring, you have to make sure that you are buying things from a legitimate source. You are buying things from a company that has adhered to a certain standards, that the PCI, those GDPR laws, the regulations, and then the laws, and what have you. You have to make sure that these companies are companies that have registered to this particular, standards or what have you. In that, this company, as stated earlier by my brother, when I asked that question, that the company failed to conduct a series of, vulnerability scannings. That is why the hacker was able to sit in their system for more than 95 days without him or her being detected. Okay, so if you fall within a particular standard, this standard requires that every now and then there should be something happening within the system. There should be a proper monitoring, proper check of the system. Like for instance, if you belong to the PCI 27001, there are certain things that you have to always do as an organization, as a vendor, as a supplier. There are things that you have to adhere to, you have to do, so that every single person that depends on you will know that, oh, I'm depending on a safer or on a reliable company. Like for instance, the constant vulnerability checks, testing, penetration testing, and what have you, to be able to make sure that your company or your system is safe. So these are some of the things. You implement zero trust. Zero trust means anybody at all that is going to be granted access into the organization system has to be thoroughly checked. Okay, for instance, if you have people coming into your organization, okay, you need to make sure that you've assigned roles. You make sure that you assign privileges to each and every person, depending on what the person is coming to do within the organization. If a visitor comes, we know that he should be restricted from going beyond the visitor's area. If a worker or any technician comes to do something within the organization, has to be provided within with the access to the area that he is going to work on. We shouldn't grant access to people like that are not known. We should try to limit the access that we grant to even workers. We should make sure that every single worker has a limited access unless he or she has something to do within the organization. Some people have the real rights, others don't have, and the rest of things. So these are some of the things that we have to do. Zero trust is very important. With even in our daily lives, okay? Use malware prevention tools like antivirus software automatically scan devices for malicious codes. Adopt browser isolation. So browser isolation tools isolates or sandbox web page code before it executes on an end user's devices. So any malware is detected and mitigated. You detect shadow IT. So shadow IT refers to application and services employees use without the approval of that organization or the IT department. We all do in our organizations, okay? So we have to set a policy that protects, that prevents us from accessing any sites that we are not supposed to do that. So if we set only a written policy, most of the employees will not pay attention to that. But when you say the technical one, that if an employee try to access any site by using a Cisco umbrella to block some sites, that employees cannot visit. We've seen situations whereby people are working and they are watching pornographic movies. People are working and they are searching for sites that you could get their wedding plans and what have you. These are all bad habits. Within the organization system, we need to set rules. We need to set, to block some sites that are not needed within the organization. People are not supposed to be working and be Facebooking and the rest of the things. So these are things that we should try and then make sure that we, stop. Applications that we don't need within the system should not be installed. Okay, or we should try and make sure that everything that is installed on our machines or within our system is something that is beneficial, that is going to be used by the people within the organization. You enable patching and vulnerability detection. So organizations that use third-party tools have a responsibility to ensure that those tools are free from security vulnerabilities while identifying and patching every vulnerability that may not be possible. So if you have a system in place that checks, you have a vulnerability scanning tool like Qualys that we've used to do here with South Africa. During our hands-on, I've seen many times, Mr. Kwame taking the student through vulnerability scanning using Qualys and even installing the, cloud appliance, cloud agent, sorry, for any machine that is not sitting at one place, that is being moved. So you install the cloud agent on it so that we'll be able to conduct a series of scans whenever the need be. So it prevents zero-day exploitation. Often, zero-day is just when the hacker is able to detect a vulnerability before you, the user, or before the vendor. So you have to often supply chain attack makes use of zero-day exploitation. So that have been not been patched yet. So while there is no foolproof method for anticipating zero-day threats, browser isolation tools and firewalls can also help to isolate and block malicious code before it's being executed. So I think this may bring us to the end of this long talk. Oh, sorry, I've left this man, Mr. Japan. Sorry, as my screen has been shared, so I couldn't see what is happening. So you've been left without being accepted into the meeting. So sorry, you just joined. We did something on, supply chain attack. And so maybe when the question comes, we will just go over it and then you also have something to take home. So I'm done with by side. Now we're going to come back to the house for any questions from the participants here, from my senior mains here. So anything that you have for me, any question, anything that I need to repeat or whatever, we can as well do that. Thank you very much for listening. So the doors are open now. You can ask your question or you can bring a suggestion. Thank you. So if you have any question, you can unmute yourself and start talking over here. You can raise your hand and then I will also call you. So whichever way, if you can on your microphone and start talking, then it's good. If not, you can raise your hand and then I will allow you to come in. Hello, I'm here. Sometimes it's not only about listening, it's about kind of asking questions and the rest. So that's will get more understanding or what have you. Okay, I'm listening. Okay, then Madam Janet, you can come in if there isn't anything from anyone here. Okay, so I think outside this seminar, there's also an orientation service that is happening every Friday, which is being handled by an able colleague here at Soft Africa. I'll urge each and every one of you to try as much as you can to always join. It's on Friday, it comes on every Friday. So it's very important. I think Madam Janet has been saying this every time she has the opportunity. Today, I think she's here with us, but I think due to one or two things, she can't on her microphone. So she asked me to do that on her behalf. All right. And as well, South Africa. Okay, Mr. Prince, can you come in? I can see your hand up. Mr. Prince.
Yeah, Andrew, find out the link to the teams.
The orientation.
Yeah, like the workshop, like in every Wednesday when you give out a link. I don't know, is it only for laptops or I can also use a mobile?
Oh, you can use your mobile device. You can use your mobile phone, provided you can use your mobile phone. Yeah,
anytime I try joining through my mobile phone, the link doesn't take me to Teams. It shows join meeting. Then if I tap on it, it doesn't change anything. It just remain on that page.
Really?
I don't know.
May I know the kind of phone you're using?
I'm using Infinix Note 8i.
Yeah, Note 8i should work. I think I'll maybe talk to Pradeep and see if there's something that is anything that we have to do to that. But I think it should work because I know most people do join this session with their phone. But I'll try and then speak with a colleague here, Mr. Pradeep, who is also here. I know he's listening to you. So if there's anything that we need to add to it or adjust it so that it will work for everyone using, mobile phones or any other thing, we'll also do that. Thank you very much for bringing it up. Okay, we'll try and then see and then work on that. Okay, thank you very much. So as well, the enrollment is also still ongoing. We have our classes going on. We have the hands-on, which happens every Sunday. You should try and then join. Cybersecurity is the order of the day. Is the area that you can work and earn a lot of money and working from the comfort of your home. And as well. So you shouldn't waste time. If you've not started anything in cybersecurity, then I'll urge you to try as much as you can to give it a consideration. Try to come to South Africa, try to speak with people here, and they can help you up. They will just sort you out to make sure that you also start a career in cybersecurity. Don't think if you're not an IT person, some people will say, oh, media, I've never done anything in IT. I don't know anything in IT and stuff like that. No, don't worry about that. We're here to help you. So when you come, we've seen people who have come without any knowledge in IT, and now they are experts in cybersecurity. They can conduct series of scans and what have you, and that alone tells you that the team in South Africa are doing marvelously well. So try as much as you can to join South Africa to try and start a career in cybersecurity by pursuing your course in Computer Security Plus. The pass is assured when you come to South Africa. You have more than 70%, 80%, 90% chance of passing your Security Plus examination. I've seen many guys come here and then they will just come and then they write and pass. I know one guy, I don't want to mention names, he's now always every now and then updating his, status on LinkedIn, having achieved certifications here and there. He started in South Africa. He started with no knowledge in IT. He was working in a different institution, like in abroad. He's living in abroad though, working this normal work. But he pursued, he tried, due to an advice from a brother, he joined South Africa. And now he's a cybersecurity expert and he's enjoying himself elsewhere in Europe or something. Yeah, so you can also do that. You can also earn a lot of money. It doesn't matter whether you're in Ghana, Europe, or anywhere. You can still work and then earn good money in cybersecurity. So I'm urging each and every one of you to try as much as you can to speak with our agents, to speak with South Africa. Come to us and we will make sure that you have a career in cybersecurity. So with this, I think, and with the absence of anything, I think we'll bring this session to an end. I hope you've all enjoyed it. And going forward, we'll be coming up with a different style when it comes to this particular CIS. So try as much as you can to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a family member, to tell a wife and tell your children to also join. We have also packages coming up like introduction to cybersecurity, whereby we'll train, children into the cybersecurity area. So it's something that is in the pipeline. We're also thinking about bringing it up. So try to tell people to come and you enjoy being with us. So thank you very much, guys, for your time. Thank you very much for passing by. God willing, next week, Wednesday, we'll also come up with another important topic, and I don't want any of you to miss it. Try to bring other people so that we all benefit from it. Thank you very much, and bye from here.
Bye.
Hi.